Another reason to be happy, now this is your open book supplementary. It's already mentioned in the pilot paper that this is going to be available, and you can go to the CA website under supplementary and see that these already existing chapters, this they communicated in the initial syllabus revision back in January, that these critical chapters that deals with true and fair view, going concern, internal control framework, all that is open book now. But I warn you, of course, see about 100 plus pages. Are you able to read these 100 pages during the exam and copy paste? Definitely no. If you are preparing like that, you are preparing for failure. Having said that, the benefit is such that if you are a very sharp student, you know which paragraph will be more important in this book, which you can carry to the exam hall without taking that very big auditing standard book. Those sensitive pages, sensitive paragraphs, you will highlight. And I am happy to say I have already done it. Now the sessions that I will upload in future, you can see every single paragraph which is important has been analyzed. Short notes you can make while watching the video. So don't underestimate the effort behind this course. And the beauty there is you can watch at any time. If the exam is next month, you can prepare and do. But you need to have that discipline to watch the video early, do your writing early, then definitely not just 50 you can have or you can achieve prize winner. You can be the prize winner of this paper. Be a serious student. If you think that, oh, this is ABR is about accounting standard consolidation, do a lot of consolidation and only accounting standard, greater chance of failing. Look at even the pilot paper, how accounting section has been structured if you really look at it. A lot of financial reporting issues. There is no complicated work in that you have to sit and do the consolidation. It's about interpretation. Look at the 50 marks question in the pilot paper about the goodwill calculation, questioning whether significant influence is there, the control or a joint control. That is the CFO's role. You have another paper, right, for financial reporting dedicated. So this paper is all about the power of a chartered accountant is to exercise judgment. So to be able to exercise judgment, you need to really look at from a holistic angle, applying different technical standards. So therefore, it's very, very important that you take a full view of this pilot paper and then properly prepare for the exam. So without further ado, let's get into a quick refresher, maybe in 10-15 minutes. What has changed? And then straight away I'll open the pre-scene, analyze the pre-scene. Let us see how examine. Now see, when I discuss pre-scene in this session, assume that there is no unseen. That's the way we always do. So don't look at your unseen. We will predict from the pre-scene what types of question examiner can come up with. And then, of course, we will go to the unseen and then we will formulate our own answers. So that's very, very important. Don't ever be a student reading answers. Again, that is, I don't like to use the word, but I will use a killer approach, right? Killing your creativity, killing your confidence to be yourself at the exam and to confidently write. So as a lecturer at this level, our duty is to make you confident and give you and to guide you how you should come up with your own answers. All right. So the most critical learning outcomes that have changed, and also remember the most powerful document that you should look at before the exam is the syllabus document. And again, in this case, these changes in learning outcome is very, very important. And remember, syllabus has a two critical column, that learning outcome and what examiner means, or what CS Sri Lanka wants you to achieve in terms of specific knowledge. The second column really clarifies the concept underpinning this learning outcome. And if you are lacking this, you will not be able to answer. And if you read this carefully, you will know which paragraph in your open book that this particular knowledge component has been addressed. So that is very important. So I have taken this heading of this slide is to say most critical LOs, right? Now look at it. If I take now, then we can actually, when we look at the pilot paper, we can see what actually examiner has tested. We can straight away read, is it 3.3.1, where you evaluate in a given case study scenario how significant business risk. That's why I said course of framework, right? So course of framework begins with the control environment having good governance. The next step is to do a risk assessment. In this risk assessment, if there is any business risk, whether that business risk is going to result in a risk of misstatement. So your understanding of what is risk of misstatement is the key, and that is the very first learning outcome. Demonstrate the meaning and components of risk of misstatement, not in the context of auditing, but in the context of FRF. So what is FRF? Now again, this is where if you are brilliant, you have a very good conceptual understanding, anybody you can explain now what is FRF. So there are fair presentation and compliance framework. Our fair presentation framework, which is very often used, is SLFRS. Right? So in SLFRS, how can I explain ROM? And that is the very first question in this pilot paper examiner has tested. Remember, this demonstrate is not a high order action verb. The action verb is very critical. When you say demonstrate, you are demonstrating your conceptual understanding that I know this concept. But when I say evaluate, or when they say evaluate, you need to really exercise your judgment in applying theory to a given scenario. In this case study, they have given a case study about apparel industry. If you are saying inventory is a risk, what is your thought process? Why inventory is a risk based on the case study information? And that is 3.3.1. Whereas 3.1 examiner has tested. In the pilot paper, they have tested, okay, explain or demonstrate the meaning of the same thing. Risk of misstatement in the context. So to explain this, I said the second column is very important. It tells you what need to be there in your answer, right? And that is what? Using the concept of IR and CR. And that is why I said, although auditing standard book is not there, you have open book, still these concepts you need to understand. Inherent risk. Remember COVID. There is an inherent risk that you get COVID. Okay, because it will spread very fast, and that is inherent risk. Whether you wear a mask or not is a different story, but the chances of spreading COVID is very high. That's inherent risk. All right. So the way you can control if you are a vaccinated person, you reduce that and you wear a mask, social distance, in all this control measure together, risk is lower, right? And now that way, inherent risk is the susceptibility. Susceptibility means possibility. Possibility that an item in financial statement may be misstated because by nature it is complex. Inventory valuation in some business, the valuation assertion. Why I use the word assertion? All that you need to learn. Remember again, in this, when we say misstatement in the context of financial framework, what assertion? In preparing financial statement, you may want to write assertion. In preparing financial statement, you will see what some of these things what I explained maybe in the answer when you look at those question number 1. So that is the power of knowledge. Let me again repeat what I am saying now. Assertion. In preparing financial statements, management explicitly or implicitly make assertion. That means they represent. My inventory is fairly presented. Fairly presented means you apply LKS2, cost to NRV, whichever is lower, and that is fair presentation. If there are non-moving stocks, you need to explain, given the nature of the business, the chances of non-moving stocks are very high compared to other business, and that is inherent risk. Right? So in that context, you know what assertion means. Management assert that inventory is fairly presented. But you need to really look at that assertion, right? So how management say that they think there are control, but you need to really evaluate whether those controls are working. What I was trying to explain to you, here you get a theoretical understanding. The examiner has tested this in the pilot paper. Here is a good way to give a case study and test that. Then what is this? Again, that is a theoretical. I have covered now that as well. Demonstrate the assertion. So this is what I just explained to you. Let me repeat. In preparing financial statement, management explicitly means they say we are a going concern, explicit in writing. Implicitly, no need to say sales is properly accounted, proper cutoff. Every sale is accounted. Is it required to write? No. When the sale number is given, it is implicit that it has all the sales that took place during the period. That is completeness assertion. Correct period, that is cutoff assertion. At the correct value, it is accuracy. Likewise, and that only the sales that actually took place accounted, that is occurrence. If occurrence is not there, it can be a fraud. And then when sales occur, there is a debtor in existence. Remember, this level of knowledge is critical for you to score this 25%. And the beauty now in the pilot paper, if you look at this risk of misstatement, is very much married to financial reporting in the same case study. And that is your 50 marks. There is a bit of consolidation related questions, the accounting standards, and then you connect those accounting standards to ROM. And that is the holistic view that you will see when we read the pilot paper. Right. So I have covered, this is very critical, 3 LOs, right? Then the another LO, so I am taking this original document, which is also in CA website now. If you go to the notice on the education side, in the notice area, they have uploaded the revised LOs, right? In that, did you notice that 3.9 is a new LO?
Infinity Space. වෘත්තීය ගිණුම් කරන අධ්‍යාපනය සඳහා වෘත්තීමය සන්නාමය